some woman who perhaps could be ignored for her views by the mainstream media, now having possibly being arrested, losing a child, losing a house because she spoke about she was critical of the government. When we're trying to encourage people to have democracy in other countries, and are putting across, such as in Bahrain, where people have been tortured by their government and imprisoned. We are doing the right thing by stopping that from happening. But yet people can be arrested for speaking their mind on some racial issues in this country. That to me is quite disturbing, because it's going down a path about what is what philosophy or what politics you have defines where you are within the law. I say it's a critique. Her foul mouth shouting and everything else may put people off, but she was making a critique of the situation. The African woman on the tram said, "We're here because you don't want to work." Well, since we changed, since we basically have created a system where after the British Empire fell, and then during World War II, because of the tremendous attack and terrible attack that the Germans did throughout the war on Britain, although it was Britain who declared war against the Germans in the Second World War, to be factually correct. The monetary system has changed from the gold standard to fiat currency, and also towards a system where we linked it to the dollar, and develops a system where we're basically bribing people off through the political system and the social and the social welfare system. As a social democrat, I am for the social welfare system, but the immigration policy of different governments since the war has been to import people to undercut labour, to undercut the unions, to create a pool of cheap labour, and thus devalues the basis of what those jobs were in the eyes of English people. The government has put about this myth, Conservative and Labour, that there are jobs there are jobs that English people just don't want to do, and immigration is there to fill those roles. What the real answer is that they don't want to pay people a decent wage for those roles. You take nursing of the elderly, or work for educating young people, for instance. The role has been devalued in many English people's eyes because it has become work for immigrants, basically. This is a vicious cycle because, of course, as one wave of immigration comes in, they are then undercut by the next generation. So you get people who have never worked, who are immigrants, and this is creating an underclass, of which that woman on the tram, you may say, is a part of, right? But the fact is, she has to bring up her child if she gets the opportunity to, if the child's not taken away from her because she said something racist on the tram, right? She spoke her mind. If she does get the opportunity to bring that child up, his ability to get work, to have opportunity, is always going to be in a present system that we have, undercut by consistent immigration, and also the problem of having to pay for pensions with a diminishing population while the population is ageing. So older people and old people are going to be forced to work longer, which means that more young people are going to be excluded from the labour market because old people are going to hold on to their jobs more. And it's thus a vicious cycle. Now, I'm sure the government may believe, or the establishment may believe, as contrary to their rival groups, which are like the BNP, UKIP, and ultra-conservative Thatcherites who are linked with Exxon and Freemasonry and the New World Order, as people have said. That the establishment may be able to move white people into a situation where they are the middle class. But do we want a racially divided, class-based system? That was the critique we made of apartheid in South Africa. And that's why I mentioned apartheid in the first video. And South Africa in the first video. Do you want class and race, two conflicting socially combustible topics, to be linked together so strongly? You know, an underclass is being formed in this country by the policies of successive governments, right? So even while we're getting a European Union, which I'm for, which is based on social democracy, which I'm for, right? We are balkanising our own country into different groups based on race. And this is why I believe, although the woman on the tram didn't articulate it in the best way possible, people's frustration, and it will simply make more kindling and more fire for people like the BNP, people like UKIP, people like the EDL, people who are ultra conservatives, who are also, while they're being accused of being neo-Nazis by the media, trying to link up with ultra-Zionist groups in America and Israel, and with the Tea Party in America. You know, it makes a dangerous political situation. And because there is Twitter, and we've had recent stories about the media ruining famous people's lives, does this woman not deserve a second chance? Does she not deserve a chance to apologise, or to the people that she may be accused of racially abusing, or of the ability to, in a more rational and quiet moment, to articulate properly what she was meaning to say? That she was in an uncomfortable situation because she was uncomfortable with immigration in this country. You know, these things cannot be ignored because of the power of Twitter, because of the power of social media. It becomes like a witch hunt. You know, in the 1950s, people were accused of communism in the United States, and their careers, their houses, and everything was taken away from them. You know, if we're prescribing against certain political beliefs in this country, it sets a very dangerous precedent. People have gone down that precedent before. You know, the Nazis, the Soviets, they all prosecuted people for their political beliefs. In Israel and Iran and Saudi Arabia, people are being imprisoned for their political beliefs because they go against the government. Alright? That's what I find disturbing. I find it more disturbing even than what she said. And that's why I made these two videos.